нас прилет. Мамочка! Тихо, тихо, у меня окна. А где мамка?
Я не знаю.
А, мамка ушла. А Лена лежала на полу, я ее поднимала.
I'm Patrick Lancaster, and right now we are in the center of Donetsk at a social housing project where the Donetsk authorities have been placing families whose homes were destroyed by Ukrainian shelling over the last almost 9 years of this war. And the video you just saw was a video that a young girl made when this housing project, you could say, was hit by Ukrainian shelling. We can see the hole here in the roof, and if we come over here a bit, we can see the Grad rocket that is still laying where it fell. Luckily, no one was hurt at this time, but as I said, this is a place where there are many families whose homes were destroyed. I actually have some relatives that have lived here myself, my wife's relatives, and luckily everyone was safe here in this building. It's said that even the heat has been knocked out here in this building because of all the shelling that has been happening in this area. And in fact, because of Ukrainian attacks, this whole area the heating has been knocked out. And over the last months, I'm showing you many reports here in this area. We're at the address of 186 Chaluskinsov, which is right in the center. And all around this area, there has been attacks. Now, that brave girl that filmed while this was happening and in the moments after, let's have a look at some of her footage, and you can see what the atmosphere was like for these families that not only already lost their homes, but now are under shelling again here in the center of Donetsk, and has been for many months.
Девочки, у нас прилет. Мамочка! Тихо, тихо, у меня окна. А где мамка?
Я не знаю.
А, мамка ушла. А Лена лежала на полу, я ее поднимала.
Мне ведь звонок все, весь стекла, блин.
Вероники тоже окна полетели. Это какой-то капец.
Ну это же ты.
Все. Тихо, Саня, тихо. Куда ты пошла? Иди в жопу. Подними. Там, ой, горелым воняет.
Где-то убили телефон.
У нас все нормально.
Я увидела в коридор, и оно как
Мне все равно надо клеенку переехать самую. Смотри.
О, у нас все разорвалось, у нас полетела антенна, все полетело.
Нет, мы у тебя.
А что у бабушки?
У бабушки, наверное,
У бабушки телевизор возле окна.
Ну что стоит?
стоит, слава богу.
Ой, у бабушки сейчас летела.
Нифига! Стекла хоть не повылетали.
Ну чисто стекла. Видишь, мы как бы как закрывали и не закрывали.
Не хочу так. Это просто какой-то пипец. Я захожу в умывальник, а там вот это вот все. Я зову Веронику, Вероника зовет маму. Я не знаю. Чуть. Там мама говорит, что это снизу дымится. Пришла к нам тетя Валя, говорит, у них туалет на том конце тоже. Пипец. У них льется все. Я не знаю, что делать. Я не хочу так. в итоге пришел студент, его Любовь Анатольевна сказала, он пришел к нам, у нас там между стенок торчит снаряд в умывальнике. Ой, я не знаю, что делать, мы сейчас будем собирать вещи, уезжать к Лёле, потому что вот это, вот видите, ветер просто дует отовсюду. Просто прокуратура горит пламенем.
Вот, и вот здесь где-то, смотри,
где-то
за домом. Вот,
Это
открой.
дым только,
Тихо.
дым.
Это дым, видишь, вот.
Дым.
Где ваш...
Горит прокуратура и что-то, типа, где наша школа, вот тут наш дом, вот этот дом стоит перед нами. И дальше идет наша школа, то есть, и что-то, наверное, за школой горит. Это какой-то пипец.
Долго.
Просто люди идут присядку, это какой-то трындец. Это просто, я не знаю, нас будут расселять или что, я не могу понять. Я типа, просто тетя Лесина комната открылась, она, там же никто не живет. Просто смотрите, тетя Лесина комната, на тот конец нам ходить нельзя, никому нельзя, там снаряд торчит. Если он бахнет, то вообще трындец будет. Мы сейчас будем собирать вещи, потому что это какой-то трындец. Сейчас приедут кто-то, что-то будут делать, потому что, ну, как бы...
Ukraine has continued to shell these civilian areas. Now, a lot of people in the West don't know that this war has been going on for almost 9 years. Don't believe the mainstream media when they tell you it's just since May 24th. The people of Donetsk have been fighting to break away from Ukraine since they voted for it in 2014. I was here, I brought you that referendum as I did the referendum when they voted to join Russia. So we're here in Donetsk now. We're going to be taking you around, showing you different stories about families and other breaking news events. But for now, we're starting here and we're going to move on. We're going to have a look outside and just take things as they come. Because we don't make the news, we show you the news. And we want you to make sure, not only watch our reports, but watch reports on both sides of the line. Because if you watch my reports, you don't get all the facts. And if you watch the other side, you definitely don't as well either. You have to gather things from many different sources and make an educated decision. Even right now, we can hear some shelling in the distance. You have to make an educated decision. Educate yourself. Don't just be led by the Western mainstream media like sheep. Please like, subscribe, and share. Remember, we're totally independent, crowdfunded journalists. You can support our work with the link on the screen or in the description. Now let's go take a look around. We can see here, just next to that room, which luckily there was no one living in at the time, there's the bathroom or the sink area. Now this is kids that use these, well did, before all this area was destroyed and the heat was knocked out. They use this on a daily basis. Just think what would have happened if there would have been a child standing here when this rocket hit. Now make no mistake, this is not a military target here. There's no military here. Right next door, let's look over here. This is a student housing building right here, which also has come under shelling. So make no mistake, this is a civilian area. Yes, there's police stations in the area and things like that, but there's no military base here. There's a general prosecutor's office, which is up the street, but this square is a civilian area. This is not a military target, but yet Ukraine keeps attacking this same area in the center over and over again over the last months. Now, this attack happened a few days ago, but we're going to continue on and show you what the facts here on the ground in Donetsk, and we're going to keep moving on and just keep pressing because you're not going to see this information anywhere else. Okay, we're just outside the building now, and we can see the extent of the damage here along this street. All the windows are knocked out on that building. All here, if we see on the actual building here, is all the windows are also knocked out. Now keep in mind, that's a student dorm, and this is a dorm for the social housing of victims of Ukrainian shelling attacks over the last almost 9 years. Now we can see all the windows are destroyed. Now, unfortunately, because of what Ukraine is doing to the center of Donetsk, These people are losing their option to have subsidized housing from the Donetsk People's Republic authorities. All these people had already lost their homes in the last almost 8 years or 9 years of war. And now what Russia and the Donetsk authorities were doing to help them have a warm place, safe place to stay, they've lost that ability because this home has been made unusable by the victims of the Ukrainian shelling. A lot of them are moving on and trying to find a warm place to be. We hope the best for all of them, and we hope the best for all of Donbass and Ukraine for that matter. We hope things end in a peaceful way at some point soon, but we'll have to see how this plays out and what the facts are here on the ground, because things in Donetsk are getting very intense. Also days ago, earlier this week, there was an attack, several attacks on the Petrovka region of Donetsk. And during this attack, a Ukrainian drone was overhead correcting the attacks. And during the first part of the attack, some buildings came under fire, and then an ambulance, a Donetsk People's Republic ambulance, came to rescue those that were injured. And we know that a Ukraine shell came down on that ambulance and killed 4 people. 3 were reportedly killed instantly, ambulance workers that is, and 1 was killed or died later at the hospital. Now we know that this rocket came down because there were, as I said, a Ukrainian drone overhead that filmed this attack hitting this ambulance. And then Ukraine released this on Ukrainian social media and news sites. Look at that video here. And anyone that knows anything about war crimes or the Geneva Convention knows that it is a war crime to fire on an area, wait for medical and rescue workers to arrive, and then fire on it again. This is a violation of the Geneva Convention. And you won't see this war crime by Ukraine in the Western mainstream media or anywhere else in the West, because they refuse to show things that could be construed as negative towards the Ukrainian forces. They ignore it. I've shown war crimes after war crimes, and Ukraine will not show these. That's why I'm here, to show you what the Western mainstream media won't show you. Please like this video, share it across all social media. Remember, we're totally independent, crowdfunded journalists. You can support our work with the link on the screen or in the description. Let's move on. All right, so we just got word that there has been a civilian injured in the Kharovsky district of Donetsk, and it's reported that she was injured by a small mine which are launched from the air. The rockets, Ukraine launches rockets over the city, and then these small mines break up off of the major rocket and fall down in a cluster bomb type fashion, and then lay in the ground until someone comes along and steps on it and blows off their leg. So now we're headed to the location. We just saw the ambulance go by, but we're gonna go to the location, see if we can get some eyewitness accounts. Maybe that ambulance has her in it, maybe it doesn't, but we're taking everything by it comes and trying to bring you all of the information on the ground here in Donetsk that you won't get anywhere else.